What is going on, everyone? My name's Boyd and I'm back with some more Age Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the left side of the map in the blue color, playing as Thor. His name is J4Jc3. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Odin. His name is the Rapl. The map is Sacred Pond, and this is a best of 5 for the playoffs. Yes, we are in the playoffs. This is the challengers side of the playoffs. It's such an exciting time to be alive. These players have to play, basically these players have to win, I think it's 2 games or 2 series, and they will become champions next season. If they lose any of them, though, they're out. So it is a do or die for them, and it's the toughest competition of the entire tournament so far, and this is possibly not so much for these players, but the playoffs in this situation for those relegated players for the Champions League, so those bottom 4 from each of those groups. This is the first time in AOM history that there's something on the line for losing. If you lose, you're out of the Champions League and you will be in the Challengers League for the next season. So a big deal. People are going to be actually having to try quite hard in order to win their games. I do also want to apologize. I am a bit under the weather, but like I said earlier to the Twitchers, the show must go on, and we must cast and have a good time. So hopefully you can put up with my throat and my nose giving me issues. And if I make any funny noises, I do apologize, but such is life. We see J4 trying to steal as much fish away from Rapl as he can, moving forward and taking some of these forward fish here. This is a very interesting idea. It's actually quite strong because there's really not a lot of fish on the map. And Thor does build out fishing ships a touch faster than Odin, I think. J4's got 4 fishing ships to Rapl's 5. I tell a lie. That's basically exactly the same. So no problems there. And the thing is, though, when you do this, it's on this specific map. As soon as the longboats come out, you're gonna have to move back, and it's gonna happen to both of them. So these, excuse me, these fishing ship here and these fishing ship here will get pushed back and just get swapped. They will swap places, and it will be totally fine. Now, the big difference about this map, Sacred Ponds, apart from that small amount of fish and, say, Mediterranean, which does have a very similar feel to it, is this is essentially a mixture of marsh and Mediterranean. So there's a high hunt. It's a high hunt, small pond Mediterranean map. So whether we will see a lot of early aggression here on the land, we'll see what happens there. If Rapl can put some pressure on early, he does get the advantage of having those early ravens, so it basically gives him map hacks as opposed to the Thor player, who you can see has only scouted this much of the map, but he has found his second town center, so that's going to be quite nice for him. And now Rapl's small amount of idle town center time there. I think he wanted to advance, and he is going to be advancing there through Freya. And we will be seeing J4 doing exactly the same thing. 3 ox cards for J4, actually. And he's got only 14 villagers out. Is that quite correct? 11? 15 for Rapl. So 1 behind for J4, it seems. Second dock coming up, and Rapl going for a very forward dock here. Going to be trying to get some advantage on these forward fishing ships, whereas J4 going for the back dock here, he's going to be immediately under some pressure from this. And if Rapl or if J4 wants to take this fish for himself, he can do so, but he's going to be underneath dock fire, and it's going to be a difficult one for him to hold on to. Now, the Ravens moving forward for Rapl, searching around, just checking what the map is. The gold mines for this map are very standard, very similar to Mediterranean. You don't get any back gold mines, it's always going to be forward on the sides. So if you lose the water relatively fast, or maybe not even relatively fast, maybe like 8-9 minutes, you can transition into a land push and try and get a gold staff. Rapl now going to be spamming out those longboats. Same thing for J4. J4 retreating back to his base here. He's making a longhouse as well. We do see that initial Valkyrie moving forward now for Rapl. As the longboats are greeting each other. Nice micro from both players. It's definitely better to not pull back your ships if you can in these early stages of the game. You want to be dealing as much damage as you possibly can and just refocus firing whenever your opponent's pulling back. And you can see this sort of going on here with the amount of damage done to J4's ships here. Now J4 going to be almost losing a fishing ship here, and he has been pushed off this here as well, so it's a big win for J4. The Valkyrie's now coming in, looking around. The Valkyrie is in Rapl's base now. Nice micro from both players here, pulling ships back, hurting each other nicely. And Rapl draws first blood. He's got 2 kills to 1 now on the water, so sort of in front. J4 going to hit the forest fire onto this location as villagers get pulled away. There is a Herser already over here, but one villager looks like it will go down here. Nice play there by J4. Meanwhile, Rapl still pushing forward here, focusing very hard on this water micro. Doing it very nicely. Now the Valkyrie going to be leaving. There's Rapl's Valkyrie moving in. He can forest fire this or this one, and we do see him go after this spot here. Oh, and he gets one villager kill there on the forest fire. The Valkyrie not getting microed too much in this position here. Those dwarves retreating away. That's not going to be that biggest issue to J4. And he's sitting with 9 longboats to Rapl's 11. So a small advantage for Rapl. We'll see if he can translate it into something more significant here. And the ship's moving back. Does get another pick off. 10 to 14. It's all about getting those chips in here and there. We do see that J4's only got 2 fishing ships gathering right now. He does have another fish spot here that he could be gathering from, but he hasn't gone for it just yet. Rapl moving back in, ready to fight again. And here we go. Rapl can micro this as opposed to J4, who has no room to retreat. It's one of the big advantages of being on the offense. And J4 defending nicely here. I don't know if Rapl quite made the right decision to attack here, considering how far in front of he was. Now J4 ready to move back out, but he doesn't have the boats just yet. Rapl's still in front. And now where does the transition lie? We do see some forward military buildings for Rapl, making raiding cavalry from one longhouse here. He loves doing this, getting those raids in with those raiding cavalry. Not like your average Odin player who loves those lone wanderer Ulfsark. Does save on the wood though. We do see this fight still going on. J4 pulling back. Needs to sit underneath these docks if he wants to continue here. He doesn't necessarily have to stay on the water though. This is a high hunt Mediterranean variant. And really, there's not that many fishing spots here to be won. So losing the water is not the worst in the world here. Worst thing in the world. We see those longhouses spamming up now. We should start to see some fishing ships here. And Rapl wins the water for the time being. J4's given up on it. We do see some longhouses coming up, but they are a little bit in the wrong spot. And now we do see a bunch of raiding cavalry already out. Rapl may want to consider making some Ulfsark here, because they do build a little bit faster than these raiding cavalry do. Now J4's also making out throwing axemen. We'll see if he can continue here aggressively. He's got a lot of dwarves on hunt, so not the most efficient units to be on hunt, but better than nothing. Fishing ships dropping out here, trying to get something. Rapl going to be able to snipe them? No. Nice micro there from J4 yet again. More of these units pumping out here. I can't tell what population is because I don't think these maps have it. Oh, they do. Oh, that's nice. So Rapl's got 92 of 95 pop to J4's 84. A lot of that is on the water though, on these longboats here. This Ulfsark, one of the few infantry units that Rapl's got here, building a house in the middle of the map, has been slain, picked off, preventing Rapl from getting them out. Meanwhile, J4 is just slamming his face into this Rapl army here. Need to get those Hursa to target down the Valkyrie because that is a very important unit here. And that's not good micro from Rapl at all. As J4 looks like he is able to clean this up. And Rapl has to retreat here. Now Rapl's moving over to gold mines over the other side of the map. I don't know why he's on this gold mine. Possibly baiting J4 into an all-in on this spot. And we do see these. He's got dwarves over here instead of this gold mine. And he's got villagers over here instead of this hut. Question mark. It is what it is, but I don't like it. Now, Rapl going to lose all of these longhouses here. All of these forward buildings. He's got no infantry units to rebuild here. And he's rebuilding in the middle of the map. We've seen this before. Can't remember which match it was. I think it was like a Shelty game. I think it was a Shelty game and he started rebuilding like this, and that just is asking for the punishment. We do see the dwarves moving forward onto this gold mine. And the house is going up here as well. It's not what you want to see. J4 looks like he's running away with this game right now. We'll be building up a town center soon. And you see some houses getting taken down as well. We do finally see him moving back into his base here to spam out these houses. You can see his population is currently 80 of 75. Lots of resources in the bank. Trying to squeeze out medium cavalry, medium infantry as well here. But infantry gets cancelled, but he will get medium cavalry in this spot here, which is very important. Villagers sneaking off to the top side of that. There's water buffalo to eat. There's boar everywhere as well. Now Rapl's got a lot of Valkyrie here. We can put the pressure on, but what do we see from technologies? Medium cavalry coming for J4. Valkyrie tech coming through, the Aurora Borealis for Rapl as well. So he's got those Shield Maiden Valkyries. They go up to 18. Oh, wait, what even happens? What does this even give him? I'll give us an extra hack damage, 50% extra hack damage. So they both have them. They both got Shield Maiden Valkyrie here. Nice distraction for Rapl, just trying to snipe units, pull back here, get what he can. We see one Valkyrie dying. There's enough Valkyrie here for Rapl to kind of win this if he can pick off that Hursa there. He's kind of not focusing it, and the Hursa's getting super value here. Every time he whacks it, so much damage. And now J4 has to retreat back. He doesn't throw up his second town center, which does surprise me a little bit here. Now these throwing axemen really don't do anything against the raiding cavalry here. More longhouses coming up for Rapl, spamming out those raiders. And this longhouse will go down. So the forward base of Rapl is finally getting picked off, and we do see that J4 is fishing again. So Rapple's lost all of his longboats. And Rapple's being very smart here, trying to get to the next stage. And he will be able to get there. Big win condition in... Wait, does he not have an armory? There's the armory. A big win condition in this matchup is getting a good frost. If you can get a good frost, Very, very key. And we can see that the J4 is very far away from it in terms of food here. He's still hunting. Doesn't have hunting dogs though. Just because you didn't get it at the start of the game doesn't mean you shouldn't get it later. Apologies, I am dying and that's fine, but such is life. Now Scardy's coming through for Rapl. Gonna be sneaking through with these raiders. If he can sneak past this, which he probably can't, we should try. Come around this way and try and get some raids. Be a really good way to get back into this game. Not like he's out of it, but I feel like a J4 Ragnarok Classic will be incoming because J4's Heroic Age is going to be late. This is a big raid now onto these dwarves and J4 not paying attention to it. They're retreating back this way. If Rapl can get in front of this, he's trying to. He doesn't have Thundering Hooves. There's nowhere really for these dwarves to run. We do see the Throwing Axemen trying to come forward here. So these dwarves are slowly but surely getting picked off. They do have a garrison point over here though, so they could be running towards that. Now the raiders for J4 coming back here. Do we see an instant heavy cavalry? No, but J4 is going through Scardy now. And this fight here can be won by Rapl if he wants to engage it, but he's choosing not to. There's probably... No, there's the same amount of Valkyries here. Just moving up here, gonna go after more villagers. Nice choice, nice decision to try and pick these guys off before leaving. Get a couple of pick-offs and leave. Hill forts out for Rapl. Still sitting one town center though. That's a big problem. Rapl does get out of here, but only being one town center means the Ragnarok is going to be huge for J4 and Rapple's is going to be quite small, but he does have heavy raiders now. So now the raiders are very scary. You can see they're sitting with like 9.6 damage, 131 HP. It's a big upgrade. Now the Frost Giant's coming in. Do we have... Well, still don't have Scardy yet. It hasn't come through. There's the Scardy for J4, and now it's just going to be a what do you call it? A trade for Frost, maybe? And these, honestly, like, Throwing Axemen, not the worst unit to use against raiders. They do quite a lot of damage. If they're not getting tanked by, say, like a Valkyrie or something like that, which this Valkyrie is tanking here. If you microed this a little bit, you could dodge the Throwing Axeman. He is doing that. Nice job by Rapl, but it's a little bit too late. As a lot of his raiders have fallen here. Now J4 still sitting at 126 population. And Rapple's jumped down to 99 here. Second town center is on the way though. He could come up and steal this town center though. Wouldn't be a bad idea. Heavy cavalry coming through for J4 as well. Probably would have been better off avoiding the heavy cavalry and going straight for heavy infantry instead. It's really strong. And now we see the raids coming and he's going to be looking for gold mine villages. Not sure where he knows though. Obviously this is where you would expect the villages to be, but J4 heading up there. Not going to find anything. The gold, and I don't think that Rapple's seen this raid yet. So we'll see how lucky he can get. And oh, what a timing! Oh, what a timing! I think these Valkyrie missed the dwarves, and now they're coming over onto this gold mine. That's super lucky. Nice micro from Rapl here to pick off the Frost Giant of J4. Vitally important here. Leaving a couple of Jarls over here. I'm not sure what wins in that matchup there. Now the Jarls coming back over onto this location as the Raiders will be able to hit these villages over here. Pretty sure J4 sees this. Meanwhile, we've got some portable rams coming in here. Do we have any more upgrades? No upgrades just yet. Frost Giant's doing a nice amount of damage here. One Frost Giant has popped out for J4 though. And the Frost Giant of Rapl has used its special ability, so you got to be super careful not to chase after the enemy Frost Giant when yours is not there. Now the raid's coming in onto this villagers over here. Nice play from J4. However, the push still coming in. Another Frost Giant comes up here for J4. He's going to be able to defend here for quite some time. And a lot of these villagers did fall to this push here. Meanwhile, where'd those Jarls go? I guess they came over into the fight. Now portable rams are out, so we can push through this location. We do see the market is up though. But J4 not close to the next age still. And there's the Frost. Villager's going to come over here and sneak this gold mine. He can come over onto this gold mine as well, which it looks like is what he's doing. Need to separate the Ox Caravan from those villagers though. 2.9 speed versus 3.8 speed. You travel at the slowest speed, or you travel at the speed of the slowest unit in the pack. Now, however, J4's got the Frost Giant numbers advantage, which is very important because if you are fighting someone and they've got more Frost Giants than you and you try and come in with your Frost Giants, they do simply just win. And there's the Frost by Rapl as... What? Did he misclick? We hit some villagers? I think he was trying to do it like this. A little bit confused, but okay. He will be able to even up those Frost Giant numbers, maybe. This Frost Giant might even survive here. Rapple's going to tap out, it looks like. He's called GG. GG, well played. Nice one by J4. Good recovery from that shocking water early there. And Rapl just wasn't able to defend. Building forward here was probably the mistake, and then not coming back to his base either was another mistake. Because then he couldn't reduce units. He was probably fine had he lost this base here and just moved back to his home base and built some things. He's probably fine, but he just couldn't continue here. Anyways, J4 takes the first game. And that's the one. GG, we'll move on to game number 2 very shortly. If you are enjoying these games, please consider hitting the follow button on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit the subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game.